Thank you very much, Freya, and our lovely analysts over on the desk. I think a lot of good things to pick up on there, especially considering we don't know what to expect on Overpass, right? Yeah. We haven't seen any games from either of these teams, but I fully agree with what Alan was saying at the end there. I think we just need a bit more aggression from Envy. You know, we need them to play a bit more of their own game and show that confidence.
Absolutely. Also, I think that, you know, Nuke was a mess. We saw the grenades from MIBR were just a complete shit show, basically, on the T side. I don't expect that to be a common occurrence on these different maps, and here we are in Overpass. Up close in the connector, there are many MIBR players, they're all dead now, of course, apart from VSM. I saw Knives that weren't expecting him there. That is a very fast pistol round. I've never seen a pistol round where everyone died in connector, but here we go.
That's what I want to see from MV as well. Early fights, even though MIBR stacked the right spot, you still just win the battles against them. You still just win the round. I think on Nuke, they were just getting caught by MIBR's aggression way too often, and their defaults weren't working. So they all group up early, they get this connector control, they get the early fights, and they get their first round on the board.
I'd like to see someone with a HE. Someone who's in the middle, so they could just bounce it off the wall if they are coming around the corner, at least. Oh, speaking of HEs, Kobe!
I think that hit KNG. I think it might have actually hit him.
If you don't have any armor and a grenade hits you, it can do up to 101 damage in 2 hits.
Damn.
If it hits you and then explodes in your face.
I wonder if... could that be what just happened?
Possibly.
I didn't see the shots landing.
I would imagine he would have had Kevlar.
Oh,
because
true.
everyone else does. I mean, maybe he didn't if he had a scout or something. Yeah, he spent 1,700, so he's probably Kevlarless with a scout.
Oh! Bloody hell, what is going on here? Leo gets a 3K on long. Nifty landing some shots, but it's into a 2v2. Leo's going to get that AK into his hands. His teammate gets one as well. It's actually weaponry advantage for MIBR. They've got the bomb in their hands. They've got a real chance at causing this upset here, and Leo wants to see if he can sniff them out.
They both have full armor as well. Well then, there are 45 seconds and Calix is on a very long walk. He's left leg here alone. The peek comes in from Leo. Leo doesn't like to stand in one place. And this is really going to burn some time for Calix. We can see MIBR moving into the toilets position. Smoke soon to be gone. But they're playing trade frag situation essentially. Now with 20 seconds left, I don't think you want to be swinging together. It will work out. As long as one of you stays alive, might be okay, but that'll be fine as well. Well, it seems the wild rounds will continue. From Nuke to Overpass, the craziness has not stopped just yet. MIBR winning the second round, and they'll have 2 AKs in the third. They really did line up for Leo Drunky there. Now it's the turn of Envy with the Desert Eagles. Nifty will have the scout. There's 1 flashbang, armor on everybody, helmets on some. We'll see what they're able to do. It's a very good position for MIBR with 2 gifted AKs.
Yeah, they'll be loving that. We saw C.R.A.E. specifically do a lot of good work with the AK on the CT side of Nuke. I'm sure he'll be very happy to have that in his hands early on Overpass. Nifty's got that scout back in his hands, and one of the positive signs for Envy from that last round, the only positive sign really, was that Nifty did land a couple of shots with that scout. I'd like to see if he could do even more work in this one, but it's obviously not going to be as easy against the rifles of MIBR. Leo here having to back away. So it's Leo and KNG playing this A site together. That strikes me as quite an aggressive A-sided hold from these 2 players. Definitely curious as to how they play this out as the rounds go on. And you can see Leo right now not willing to give up the bathrooms without a fight.
Yeah, Lucas is coming upstairs to help them out here, which maybe will help MIBR hold around the toilets position. Is he ready for the close left in Thomas? That flashbang doesn't quite work out for him. 2 spotted in the toilets now. KNG with that final bullet down to the USP. No helmets, thank you and goodbye. And only 1 player is lost. Absolutely fine for MIBR as they start their CT side. 2-1 now. Eco territory for Envy. A map down versus MIBR, who took Nuke, as you can see on your screens there. For those of you flying helicopters, maybe you're just on radio only. It was 16-12 for MIBR.
Well, this is a full eco from MV. A flock of Glocks is all they have in this round. And even though I can make it sound nice, it's not going to be nice for them. KNG actually taking a bit of damage early. This is a really aggressive mid fight, which they don't need to take. They could lose their guns here. KNG USP with 2 kills. He's going to get the 3rd. KNG pulling out the pistol to make sure they lock it down. If KNG falls there, though, they're losing their rifles, and they could have had some problems, but it's all good. KNG's got it.
Yeah, having absolutely nothing useful to fight with definitely helped him out there, gave him the confidence to go for those patient USP shots. Yeah, that is, in some other cases, a round losing situation, but not this time. 3-1 for MIBR. Now Lucas is, he's going to go down in connector, where there is quite some presence from Envy. Smoke up to start things off. You can see MIBR are the ones who blew off the door. This makes it really hard to lurk in short B, especially with the smoke in connector. So if Envy went for a fast play towards a short B position, you know, Lucas is going to dive through the smoke. Anyway, if there was players in short B, the isolation of that smoke allows MIBR to pinch it themselves. So you can often find that happening. Have a look at the monster tunnel though. It seems MIBR are going to be proactive on the B bomb sites.
They don't even have a flash to go through this because there's no one else with them on B. They're literally going to sit in the smoke and hope they have the advantage on the fight, which is what a lot of teams have been starting to do, and it's going to work for them for now. VSM, oh, he gets by safely. TRK's going aggressive, but he falls, and now VSM is alone on this B side of the map. He's going to tuck into the corner, try and spray away, but he's only going to get 2 for his troubles, and the B site will be lost.
Look how far away the remaining 2 players are from each other. Got Leo Drunky running in from the back. Hughes just making his way towards short B now, so that might happen. That engagement, KNG on the high ground in the meantime. Could try and distract with some grenades or something. See if Hughes holding the angle. Not quite. So no one's actually focused on Monster right now. He has an opportunity. And again, if KNG can do something, there's a distraction coming. Look at me, look at me, look at me. In the meantime, no one's looking at Monster. And here comes Leo Drunky. There's no cover whatsoever. Hughes coming back from the connector area. That just leaves KNG now with the trades. KNG! 1v1 with Thomas on the bottom left. The angle is awkward enough. Massive holes in the defenses post-plant from Envy, but they do survive.
Way closer than it maybe should have been. They almost lose track of Leo, and Leo just didn't quite look ready for that fight. A very snappy reaction where he wasn't able to get his crosshair in the right place. But then they continue to peek. There's the spray from Mihu. Really unfortunate to start the round. Envy, though, able to bounce back. And the nice thing I like from Envy in this round is that they kind of grouped up to begin with. And then once MIBR went aggressive somewhere, they regrouped to make sure they could just spot that aggression and use their teamwork to get them out of it. Nice around there from Envy. And they are grouping up quite heavily at the start of this one as well. This time towards the B side of the map. This boost from Lucas, though, is just almost impossible to spot from the T side. We'll see how long he sticks with it, though. VSM going for the fight, but it's not a favorable one. KNG has the AWP, he's trapped, and he's traded.
Yeah, there was a setup from MIBR, but it hasn't been so successful for them. Holding on to short B for the retake position. Oh, the molly, he ran into his teammate at just the wrong moment. That allows TRK to stay in his position. We'll see if that changes anything. Leo Drunky lining up some grenades, as are the short players. A boost up top. Legia down to 24 HP. Creeping out of smoke, but TRK's been boosted. Calyx moving into the water now. While Envy, they vacate the monster position and start to go back, just checking for a flank just in case. They'll focus on a short position now. Maybe nightmares of the flank in the previous round will send them to check. Potential crossfire for the CTs. Not anymore as they both fall to Mihu. Leo Drunky doing what he can with the MP9. Just good for 1 kill. The trade from Nifty allows Envy to tie the score.
Definitely seeing MIBR continue to play quite aggressively in some of these spots early, but now Envy seem to be able to spot it out. I think VSM hit peeking to begin with. Looked like the timing might have been slightly off. I'm not sure if he had a flash behind him that was coming, but he definitely peeked while no nades were being thrown. That made it quite easy for Envy to get the early kill. And then even though it's not a clinical site take, they are much more together. They are much more tight-knit on the Envy side in that round. It gets them their 3rd on the board. And MIBR just down to pistols, so they're going to try and spice it up with an A stack.
Envy being real careful. They suspect that MIBR could be up to something, so they will wait. This reminds me of the round on Nuke where they sent a MAC-10 fast into Squeaky Door and died, and I think the round collapsed afterwards, but of course, different map, different layout, different approach, and indeed a different pace, and it will be fruitful. 2 players spotted, making their way towards Playground. Nifty completely missed one, going for the biggest flick of all time, not quite getting there. AWP collected briefly, has been lost again. VSM and TRK remain in this eco against 4 players. Won't be easy for them. P250 would pay for itself if he can get a kill, but he won't. So main punch sends his crosshair up, and KiNK will bring the body down. Envy now in the lead on the T side with 3 rounds in a row.
They're getting there. Couple of good round wins for Envy. This is where we get the buy from MIBR, and KNG has invested every single dollar and every single penny into that AWP. He had exactly the right amount for it. It's going to be difficult for KNG to get too aggressive, though, especially if he wants to go for that standard mid-peak. He runs the risk of getting naded, so KNG might have to be a little more tricky in this round. And currently you can see KNG playing on long rather than any sort of standard mid-peak to begin this round. I think this is where I'd prefer MIBR just to chill out in this round. They've gone for quite a few aggressive plays with varying success. I think generally Envy have shown they're able to stop the aggression of MIBR, so I wouldn't mind a more passive round from the Brazilians, but it's Envy this time who might be getting aggressive early.
Oh, the timing, TRK. Oh, 3 of them. Hughes swinging. They're lining up. He's only good for 1, though, but look at the T's coming through. Down goes Lucas. VSM so awkward for him. That smoke, he doesn't know what's behind it. He's so concerned. KiNK swinging with the bomb, but it will be trades again from Thomas. The numbers game too great for Envy at the moment. 3 versus 2 now. Leo Drunky trying to hold the low ground while KNG from up top makes it a 2-on-1. Onto the side goes Leo. Legia around the smoke. Wasn't spotted by Leo. That was an opening for him, but KNG still alive. Free-peeking. Down he goes. Leo, is he in the smoke? Is he in the water? The water, it is, and Legia clutches the round. 2K at the end, so close and yet so far for MIBR.
Oh, MIBR will not be pleased with that one. Legia's allowed the spray to the body on both those kills. KNG didn't know where he was to begin with, wasn't looking the right way. Got to give props to Legia for keeping his cool under those circumstances. That second fight especially, I thought Leo was going to have him there. The early kill comes in for KNG. That kill from Legia is fine. This one, he doesn't seem to take any damage. It looks like a couple of missed shots from Leo, and Legia is able to swing and spray to give Envy their 5th round win. Looking much better for Envy here on Overpass. We're seeing more from all of the individuals. We're seeing just a much faster brand of Counter-Strike from Envy as well. They just look so much more confident here on Overpass, which makes sense. It's their map pick, but it's much more of the Envy I was hoping to see. Thomas is hiding under the slide like a little troll.
Yeah, little anti-flash just in case. It might be with the Desert Eagles. Again, Envy trying not to drop around to an eco or a force buy. Very quietly creeping through. No one on the high ground for the players clearing connector as the focus is on long for Envy. Leo Drunky starting to creep now, starting to get a little curious. Oh, off angles, running into trouble. Spotted 3 players though, and the remainder of MIBR can try to react to this information.
I think you can see how MIBR are just not as aware of all the angles on this map. I was even looking at some of the map stats for Overpass for some of the newer players, and even the guys who joined MIBR didn't really play it on their old team much either. So that gives you an indication as to why maybe you're seeing some of these mistakes. No mistake from VSM. He lands a shot right between the eyes, but Thomas is able to trade. This is the first time I think we've really seen Envy fully commit to one of these A-sided rounds. And it's worked out pretty well for them against the Pistols. MIBR will probably just be looking for some exits.
Yes, we've often seen 3 or 4 of Envy towards the B-bomb site early. Outside monster at the very least. Some fishing from MIBR. It's looking to make it a little expensive if they can. And they can't. KiNK's the only person to drop. Envy looking happy on the T side. 6-3 on the T side is great. Couldn't really ask for too much more than that. They did take the pistol, so I suppose they could ask for not losing to a force buy afterwards, but nothing too shabby there. Now we see 2 Orgs are out for MIBR. the scoped weapons. Interested to see how they will look to utilize them on Overpass. B-Tunnel could be interesting, but where does the second one go?
Oh, Lucas just took some damage dropping down into the water on B. That's a bit of a mistake. Double AWP setup as well from MIBR, and both snipers are on the A side of the map right now. That's slightly surprising to me, considering B has been the problem position for them so far in this game. But the read looks right from MIBR. KNG continuing to play aggressive. It's a 1v1 fight that will go his way. Leo is stuck in connector now. He's got to make sure he can lock this position down. This can be a somewhat difficult angle to clear, though. Sometimes you don't clear this, and Leo's got the first kill because of it. Thomas was not in a position to trade, but Leo gets caught with his pants down.
He gets so excited when he gets a kill. It's like he has to do something else immediately.
He's got so much energy.
There's never a fallback. It's always forward, or let's get something else done. Let's tick another box. KNG continues to flank, which allows MIBR to keep the final two players on the B bomb site. TRK misses his opportunity, though. But VSM is here with the second AWP. Now, what is the play from Envy? They're running back to T-spawn. It's good they've done that. They've passed that already, because from the middle of connector, you can actually hear them falling back past the club. You can hear those footsteps. And up top, I think KNG is going to hear these as well. Oh, look at the patience. The trigger discipline is sublime from KNG. They almost lined up for him. And it's Nifty with the bomb now. 24 seconds, running for his life. Can't plant default, of course. Goes to the other side. Then Molotov will soon be gone. Now, does VSM peek him? Bomb's been planted. VSM dancing around somewhat, showing some presence. Nifty creeping towards bank.
Oh, he's going to go for the fight as well. Nifty not ready for VSM. Really nice patience there from VSM. I was worried he was going to commit to it with the AWP, which is such a big risk if you go for that fight. But instead, he takes his time, sits back, and realizes Nifty probably has to play the bomb from bank there. He almost has to go back into that position. So VSM just makes sure he's got the backside of it locked down. He can wait for KNG to get up closer. He ends up getting a pretty easy kill in the end. So MIBR finally get another round on the board. They break the win streak of Envy, who had won 5 in a row prior to that round loss. Now the question is, can they repeat that performance? It was the double AWP setup that helped them significantly in that round, and they're able to stick with it in this next one.
I think that that monster kill is a CT kill with an M4A4. But there we go. Short B has been taken fast from Envy. And we saw the earlier rounds where, oh dear, that's another missed grenade. That grenade's supposed to go on the edge of the water because the molly will cover the high ground and the low ground. It's a pretty straightforward grenade. It's just not a day for grenades as far as MIBR are concerned. I always have a dream, right, that you have a guy at barrels. You throw that molly, but you throw a pop flash first. That goes deep enough so the guy if there's a guy that he's holding the angle, eats the flashbang, molly comes down, doesn't know he's on fire, dies to the flames.
That is James's dream. If we can make that happen, please. Maybe we just set up a game where James, we pretend he's in a real game.
Don't do that.
Then we let him do his thing.
Ooh, look at the shadow advantage from Leo. Is anybody going to have a look? He's got so many sound cues, but they are looking for him. Mihu very, very patient indeed. That forces the rest of MIBR back towards the site. 45 seconds. And have a look at the bomb on the radar. KNG down on the site now, moving into an angle. So Envy have been served up some delicious meals around the A bomb site, but where is the bomb headed? Went round towards T-spawn, into connector, and then back up towards A again, where these picks have happened. Slight shadow advantage for Lucas as they start to swing on him, but Nifty will trade the kill. That leaves VSM and TRK with a lot to do as they try to hold on to what they have. Now the bomb's been planted. It's time to fall away.
I am concerned about this A-sided setup from MIBR. I was saying it earlier in the game. I think Leo and KNG are probably the two most aggressive players on this team, and they're both playing on that A site. I think you really probably want an aggressive AWPer on that A side of the map, and then just a really safe pair of hands as your second player who can always be in a position to help clean up. And Leo, you've seen a couple of times now get caught out in the bathrooms, not being 100% aware of all those angles. I think Envy in that round specifically, you could kind of see that they were ready for an aggressive player in the bathrooms. And at times, you have to know when to fall back on that A site. It's very important that you don't die too early there. Otherwise, you give Envy just so much of the map to work with and an early man advantage. And you see that Envy are happy to take their time after getting that early kill. See, they bait him in, basically, to going for that fight. And then KNG is in a pretty poor position on the bomb site. So I think that could be an issue going forwards for MIBR. Right now, the bigger issue is they've only really won one gun round. That's got to change.
Yeah, I don't feel like I've seen too many of the various classic setups with an AWP and rifle support on the A bomb site that you could see, some years ago from classic MIBR and plenty of other teams. Seen some in this tournament already here at Flashpoint 2. We'll see how it proceeds. This time the AWP maybe offering some grenade support from the A bomb site itself. KNG has been rotating here or there. Mixed results on the B bomb site, having lost a teammate when he could only get that one kill, and then V just simply trade frags before he could fire another shot. So Leo's around the toilets, and KNG will be spotting along for the time being. Envy waiting out the current grenades. Monster Smoker's gone now. Mihu will be there holding an angle. Thomas collecting the bomb as Nifty and Legia move forward past the playground.
Just under a minute left on the clock, and Envy are still taking their time. Lucas, though, not wasting any time. The aggression is... Oh my god, he doesn't get the kill! That is a big whiff there. Envy end up winning those trades. Oh, MIBR got just the right timing on the aggression as well. I was waiting for some of that CT aggression on the B side of the map, but it's not going to favor them. And now Envy, if they commit to this B site with a couple of good nades, they've got a pretty solid chance here. KNG has arrived on the rotate, though.
Just waiting for the peak. Does Nifty go deep enough? TRK in the water. They're coming for him. The two-man swing. And it seems that they're half asleep on this bomb site, MIBR. He was very slow to react there. Not sure if he was looking at the radar or what. I feel like sometimes if you start shooting your rifle before your crosshair is in position on someone, and then you get your crosshair there, but you start your recoil control at the beginning of the spray, but you're beyond the beginning of the spray already, so you never quite catch up with it. This is perhaps what happened there, I don't know, but MIBR may need some sugar on that B bomb site just to wake up a little bit. That was those are free kills that were missed, and that puts Envy on 8 rounds on the T side of Overpass. Pretty strong scoreline for Envy thus far.
Envy will be pretty happy with how this is going so far. I don't think Envy have had to do anything exceptional, but I just think a lot of the more simple things are much more effective from Envy on this map. You are just seeing, I think, the difference in comfort levels for these two teams on this map. We're seeing Envy always seem to work together, always sticking together in these spots. For MIBR, they're having issues with that. Timeout taken. This is the first tactical timeout taken by the MIBR side. KNG quite vocal right now for the team. Kogu, the man standing behind them.
I would love it if he was on one of those segways, just wheeling up and down in a very small area. One of those. There's like this iPad thing that's on one of those segways that some cheesy CEOs use to go around an office. You know, when there's not coronavirus, with their face on it, so they can just talk to people while not being there.
Oh wow.
8-4. Both teams on the bye once again, and we've got the old boost. But look at how forward MIBR are. They're not going to find anything from this. But the thing is,
oh my god.
Envy won't find anything from this, but MIBR won't know what they're doing either. Because again, if you get a kill in that position, it's at least 4 and normally 5 players all in T spawn, so you can take some aggressive positions. Oh dear. Oof. That was a swing and a miss from KNG. He still has a bait set up with TRK. Now, how do Envy respond to this? They've got Calix creeping in the short B position in the meantime. And with the aggressive spots from MIBR around the playground, they may look to make a play in B here as the bomb is collected by Legia.
Oh, this is a round that's going to explode at any moment. KNG's pushing through. Oh, Nifty's running now. He's giving it away. He doesn't realize KNG's pushed into the back lines. Envy have to go B here now. They have to just commit to this. They've left the bomb behind, which could be a problem, but MIBR are playing very safe on this B site. These fights are important from Calix. He's got to delay them. The bomb is still not recovered, James. They're on the B site. They're fighting, but it's not going to matter. MIBR have made the difference in this round. 2v5 should not be winnable.
It shouldn't be. KNG continuing to creep. We'll soon see the bomb on the left-hand side. The fights continue, though. They rage on. Calix and Thomas, it's so awkward for them. Calix is taken out by KNG at the very end. So both teams made an aggressive play at the beginning. Envy's was a tower, whereas MIBR's was a charge, and it allowed them to take position. And it wasn't just a fast enough response from Envy. Nifty died alone in playground, and they were just double HEs afterwards. And again, the bomb was left. Panic, maybe. Well, that's one way to get back into the half. Both teams on the bye once again. The short B Molotov and the T-Rap Molotov as well. Once again, NV with big numbers towards the B bomb site, as has been common in this half.
Now we might just see them go back to this fast B play through Monster. It's been pretty effective so far. Flash goes through. Another flash to follow, but VSM has put down that smoke. Lucas not able to get the early kill, but this time MIBR are surviving on the B site. That's important. That's allowing time for the rotation. The counter nades are there, and Envy aren't really sure. Everyone is now on this B side of the map, and Lucas gets one through the smoke. Nade lands to follow. Nifty getting caught in no man's land. Envy just not able to get anywhere near this bomb site, and MIBR this time hold on to B.
Smoke's cutting the bomb sites in half. And NV are very exposed afterwards. The cavalry are here for MIBR, trampling on the faces of Envy. Chose to stand and fight, and on this occasion they were unsuccessful. So MIBR start to catch up as we head in towards half-time, and that scout is coming out again for Nifty as the money is short on the side of Envy. Some late rounds here for MIBR. Much better buy now. 2 AWPs continue. VSM's on a long journey. Celio Drunky saying hello as well. Spots the scout. They can hear the weakness as well as see it now. Only a deagle for Calix and Mihu. 3 flashes on NV with 1:30 on the clock.
Slowly creeping up the connector. VSM holding long. This double up setup is again on the A side of the map. KNG is also getting involved now, and he's going to get the first kill. Lagia dropped. Leo holding this close angle, gets the shadow, but doesn't get the kill. VSM thankfully gets another one, and KNG is still sticking around in the bathrooms. He spotted that player, but he's not able to land a shot on the tight angle. Now it's these 2 AWPs on the A site, and KNG is still up close, but he hits the shot anyway. It's only the long players remaining for Envy. Right now, VSM has his back turned, but that's because the rotate has arrived. There's another player up on this A site. There's a molly for long, and Envy have another hard position to come back from.
A scout and an AK to try and find a way to win a round. They're slowly edging forward, but KNG, even with the AWP, is moving faster. Down goes Nifty, and down goes Mihu as well. 7 rounds for MIBR at halftime. Was looking unlikely for them, but I think they've put themselves in a pretty reasonable spot, all things considered, as we move into the second half. 23 kills for KNG, not too shabby. We'll see if he can hit 30 after the break. MIBR, one map up, one round down, moving on to the T side. We finally saw KNG, the KNG we were looking for on the CT side of Overpass, although I'm sure they would have liked to have some more rounds. Envy maybe gifted them away into some late rounds in that half. And now it's Envy's turn to move on to the defensive side. We can see a boost coming towards the B bomb site, but MIBR making inroads towards A.
Yeah, currently taking that A long control. Overpass is always a map where you can see early control taken and then quick plays back down the connector or back up the connector to switch things up. And with KNG lurking all the way towards T spawn, I wouldn't be surprised if they do end up going back to B in this round. And that could be where Envy's boost comes into play. Me, who is the man on top of that boost, he's going to have this clear line of sight. The problem for me, who is, how many kills is he going to get here? Especially with the players having their back turned, I would expect him to get 1, maybe 2, if they push this position, and then you don't have the best spots to work with to actually hold the B site. But they'll be hoping those early kills are enough to allow them to lock it down, and once this door opens, Mihu will get the information.
Got to land those headshots though, only Mihu facing, doesn't land a headshot, but we know there's some cavalry around the corner. However, can they find some kills? They certainly can. Legia with 2, looking for a third one. Bombs here as well. Nifty comes and goes very quickly indeed. Gets a kill though, which keeps Envy a man to the good. Lucas and KNG. KNG trying to close the distance, but it is a crossfire. Not sure he realizes that. Still a crossfire now. Lucas is delivering all the kills, looking for one more versus Legia, who's got 3 of his own. Make it 4. Envy take the pistol.
Legia, the man with the kit, the man with the utility, ends up being the big hitter for Envy in that round. MIBR had one smoke as well. I didn't see exactly where that went. It could have been really nice to be able to smoke off the close position, but it looks like they smoked heaven. That's what allows all these Envy players to fight. Nifty actually goes through the smoke to help them out as well. And then at that point, MIBR don't have many nades, so they just go for fights. And even though Lucas landed some nice shots, this one from Legia, clean as you like, to give Envy the all-important pistol round. And MIBR, without the bulb plant, will not be forcing up into this following round.
You know what I want to see from Fnatic? I want to see, on the T side, that 4-man stack, but I want to see a revolver. JW with a revolver on top.
As soon as you start like rattling up the revolver, they hear it and they're like, oh no, it's a boost.
Nifty with a cheeky shot with the scout. Now, MIBR, their concern is position a bomb plant. They want the bonus money. This is not a forced buy from them. Lucas is not a guy who needs to die for MIBR right now. He's the one who's carrying the bomb, which allows time for rotation. There's no one on the flank to stop the bomb from being planted. So the worst case scenario is done. Now it's about doing some damage or maybe winning the round, maybe doing some damage. KNG 1 versus 5 with a P250. Can't get much done. Some main punch there, but they achieved their goal, which was to plant the bomb. MIBR.
Yeah, that's all they really wanted there. Maybe a kill or 2 would have been nice, but that's not necessary, right? They get their own money, especially with how KNG's been playing. He's got the chance to get the AWP now if he wants it. He's going to go for the AK, though. Didn't want to risk going without the Kevlar. So AK's across the board for MIBR, and I think that's probably the safer call into this round, because you kind of know that Envy are going to have some weaker weapons. So if you get the AKs and the full nades, you have got by far the better buy in this round, and it shows. Only 1 premium rifle on the Envy side of things, while MIBR have those 5 AKs. So weaponry advantage certainly in favor of MIBR. That might mean that Envy try and go for a bit of a crazy play, though. They know they've got the weaponry disadvantage. We'll see what Envy decide to do in these circumstances.
Leo, I was going to say moving to short B alone with the bomb, but there were chain flashes. Oh, Thomas he was on the balcony. Got taken out by Lucas. Smoke in connector to stop more aggression, potentially from Envy, but nobody was in connect. So we can see a third man towards B now in Nifty. Still on the scout. Envy having to play responsively to MIBR at present. Not really in position to do anything proactive. We'll see if... okay, KiNK has picked up the scout now. And Nifty's got the MP9, which is interesting. Guess they'll have Nifty focusing on the B-bomb site a little more, while KiNK will scout with the scout on A. But again, it's relatively passive, no forward positions. And that smoke at the front of A will be telling for MIBR. They can have a rough idea of where that is, which maybe tells them the climate upstairs.
Mihu was deep peeking into Monster. Now that he spotted a player, a third man rotates down to B. They can be a bit more prepared for this. It is a more contact-heavy play for MIBR, though, running into the site. Nifty spraying away, and Mihu gets set up for success. 2 kills with the premium rifle. It's into a 2v2, and MIBR pumped the brakes, but the bomb's been dropped on the site.
Legia has not fired a single bullet. They have no idea, but is he going to turn around? That smoke's not going to be there forever. Still focusing on Monster. There was already an engagement in short B, but the laser focus, that's an opportunity missed. Calix now, they see his legs, and that'll be enough. If Legia just turned around at any moment there, and who knows what may have happened. The bait setup was there, but was convinced somebody was coming from Monster. Down to the wire that round. MIBR on 8 now.
That is filthy. Yeah, this setup from Envy looked really good to begin with. Look at how Mihu gets those 2 kills on the trade, but KNG's just able to sneak up on that slight angle, spot the player out early, and now Nifty getting an AWP into his hands, looking over the top of the smoke. Calix also playing quite aggressively on long. Now that Nifty's falling back, though, Calix is going to have to commit to that close long angle. Looks like both teams are just defaulting at the start of this round, though, so we shouldn't see too many early fights.
Nifty keeping eyes on Party. First flash on long, no response, no fire. Nifty went reposition, maybe trying to run distraction. Get a flashbang out there. Calix's patience will pay off, but 1 for 1 is not good enough, really. 4 on 4 will favour the T's with a minute on the clock, and we can see more proactiveness from Envy as Legia looks to press on towards Monster. It's got Mihu keeping an eye on Connector in the meantime as Thomas starts to get more aggressive, maybe to offer some kind of help to Nifty upstairs. MIBR split up. Now, where does the bomb ultimately go here? We can see Lucas maybe looking to rotate to join the other 2 in the high ground. Meanwhile, Thomas makes his way downstairs, it looks like. And Nifty starts to fall off. They were so long there with no information. I don't know if KNG would have heard Nifty running on long there. He may have got a sound cue. But it's complete guesswork for Envy. They haven't really seen anything, but with the aggressiveness they have on short B, actually, they'll still have 3 towards B, just in case, which is interesting. Nifty alone on the A bomb site, despite those aggressive positions. He's got the info now, but down he goes.
Only a 1 for 1 on this A site, and even though MIBR don't have many nades, they're able to get the bomb down. Here comes Mihu, though. Lineup could come through, but VSM wins the all-important fight. That puts MIBR firmly in control of this round, especially now that the gear's been taken out. Thomas can't really get anything going here. He's going to have to save. MIBR with another round win, and I do wonder whether Envy mind games themselves a little bit there. I think because Nifty was so far out in the open at long, it looked like maybe he was assuming that MIBR would only take the A site with that long control, so he kind of played back on A, thinking that long was clear, and then the timing just not really working out there. Even though Nifty gets the 1 kill, he had to try and survive. Was not allowed to do so, and that means MIBR are continuing to grind out these rounds on the T side. This has turned into a very close affair right now. 10-9, and Envy's money is poo.
KNG, 2 kills away from a 30 bomb. 28 for 10. Got 2 kills in that previous round as well. Meanwhile, TRK,
yeah.
TRK is 2 for 12, but if KNG is stealing all the kills, that's not the worst thing in the world.
If you add KNG and TRK together, they have a 30 bomb.
If you add KNG, TRK together, you get KNG, TRK.
You do.
You're welcome. Thomas with a rifle, the rest on USPs. We'll see what he's able to do. It will be another boost.
Oh!
A more traditional one.
Hello, Smoke. Why have you landed there?
Hopping off just in case. This round is entirely about Thomas. Envy, the pistoling players need to try and stay alive, so if Thomas is to find an opening somewhere, they need to be there to try and swarm and cause anarchy, pick up rifles, abuse positions. There's no vision upstairs from Envy, which is fine in a round such as this. They've completely gambled on the B bomb site. MIBR taking it slow, but they're passive across the map. That smoke will land on the site itself. You can see some movement from Envy. Legia's going upstairs to have a look. Oh dear.
Ouch.
A little too curious maybe. I don't know what they're expecting to do from that range of the USP. So at this spot the rifle doesn't really get to activate. in the hands of MIBR now. MIBR still patiently waiting. Protect the VIP. The bomb makes its way with 2 escorts towards the B bomb site. Monster more or less in control of MIBR for the time being. And Legia will soon go down. There's 1 kill from it. Shame we didn't see more from the rifle, but such is life. 10 to 10, pair of 10s.
All tied up. Anyone's game right now on Overpass. The first map was already quite close. MIBR were able to close it out in a back and forth game. This one has been a bit more standard. I think we haven't seen as many shenanigans here on Overpass. And it is now the buyout for Envy. No AWP into the hands of Nifty, just the 5 M4s on the CT side. No kit either for Envy. Something to keep track of as this round goes on. If we see that bomb planted, Envy will have to get a move on. And even without the AWP, Nifty is still playing aggressive on this A side of the map. This is the sort of angle where he might be able to get one and get away though. Great shot from Nifty. He clearly knows his angles. He's going to get away safely. 3 players here though. VSM only going to get 1 of them. Calix having to shoot through his teammate to get that kill. But Envy have retained that man advantage.
Really tough spot for MIBR as well. Lucas is the bomb carrier. He's dropped it to his right-hand side, having a look to see what's up. But he really can't die here. Envy still with presence in short B. And MIBR makes his way towards the A bomb site. KiNK and TRK around the toilets, but they seem to be going downstairs. Now, if they make some more sound cues, there we go. Calix will hear this. And he may identify that 2 players are in the connector position. We'll keep an eye on the radar. Perhaps there's a flank coming from Envy up top. An easy kill as the barrel of the gun reveals KiNK. More dancing around from Calix. Very patiently taking his duels. Great burst fire. That leaves Lucas with the bomb. Making his way towards short B. 1 versus 4. Some damage would be nice. There's no money in the hole for Envy. If he can make it expensive, it will be fantastic. Calix is dead. Makes his way towards B. Grenades are flying in. That was a chunky one, down to 50, down to none. Envy back in the lead.
Looked like a bit of either miscommunication or lack of awareness at the end of that round for MIBR there. If TRK comes down connector to trade onto KiNK, who went into the short position, maybe they have a chance of quickly swarming that B site. Love this angle from Nifty. Gets away safely. And then here, I mean, KiNK turns the corner, but he needs TRK behind him. TRK had just gone back up to the top of connector. Calix is able to get a couple of kills. And you even see here, Lucas almost had a chance to get onto the B site, even in the 1v3. So I think if MIBR had grouped up, maybe they could have at least got the bomb down and put it into a precarious position. Instead, though, Envy are able to take back the lead, at least for the time being.
Quick tech pause before we resume. Plenty of money on the side of MIBR. KiNK with $8,000. Died unceremoniously in that round prior. They're not too far away, though. I want to say not too far away from the, potentially going very deep on Overpass. They trail by just the 1 round. But they've got 3 from 6 on this T side. So they can take some confidence in that. They've got the money to keep up the pressure on Envy. Once Envy have completed their buy, only MIBR should have money, about $3,000. Everybody else has got, well, Calix has a little, but most players have got less than $500 in the bank. So if Envy can be broken by MIBR in this round, then there's the potential for a 2-0, surely. I feel like Envy look like the stronger team at the moment.
Yeah, I think they do look like the stronger team, but for MIBR just to put themselves in this position where if they win maybe 2 or 3 key rounds, they win the game, that's pretty good from MIBR's perspective, in all honesty. I think this is obviously one of the maps where KiNK has just popped off, and he can do this sometimes. He's quite a streaky AWPer, but he's really put them in a position where they actually can compete in this game. And if they win this round especially, then we are starting to cook with gas over on the MIBR side.
Yeah. It looks like TRK ran out of batteries for this second map. But if he's taking bullets and his teammates are trading and so on, then it's all good.
That's the thing. TRK is normally like the closer on this team, normally in the back lines. So that is a bit concerning.
Yeah, but I mean, they started on the CT side.
That's true.
Yeah, so like having 2 kills on the CT side is worrisome. If it's the T side and maybe you're going first and just absorbing all the bullets, if your teammates are trading and you're winning rounds, it's fine. But hey, for better or worse, again, there's only 1 round in it at present, and now MIBR are Wing up long with 4 players. Lucas will be lurking outside B, as is commonly found. KaLiX may have seen something there. Flashbang. They won't peek into it too much, though. Mihu's been taken out on the B bomb site by Lucas, as Envy get a bit hungry for information. The smoke grenade will tell them that somebody else is there.
Oh, nice.
Oh, the pop flash! Beautiful from Legia. Sees that there's nobody else around the B bomb site. They are already positioned towards A, and Thomas makes his way there as well.
Oh, and now they're pushing bathrooms. This is crazy from Envy. They know there are players here, but they're going to push into them. KaLiX loses out. Now Nifty is sitting back in the bathrooms, but MIBR realize we've got the man advantage now. We can maybe afford to sit back. Legia's actually decided to go passive on the B bomb site as well, so with 40 seconds left, the info isn't that good for Envy, and that may be why Nifty is getting aggressive. Good shot from Nifty. He's going to get back to safety as well, and the time is ticking here. 31 seconds. MIBR have to make their minds up right now.
While they've pushed toilets, Envy, Legia went all the way through Monster, and indeed he did fall back. And now he heads towards A. It's absolute madness. Nifty still looking around the toilets. VSM with a very late rotation, 15 seconds. And how on earth can they plant this bomb? They've really got to just hope and pray. We've got a CT rotating towards the back. They're faking over 8 seconds on the clock. Thomas will do the job. He's delayed enough. And Leo Drunk, he's got no idea where to look. He's got sounds all around him. And Legia with the crouch peek. Envy make it to 12. Pushing everywhere at the same time. And MIBR don't know what to do.
Yeah, they got lost in the sauce in that round. Which sounds cooler in an American accent, by the way. It rhymes, but I cannot do an American accent. Early kill from Lucas. There was this flash from Legia, who I have to say has been pretty solid on this CT side. I think Legia came into the half with only 6 kills, and then Nifty getting around those bathrooms. I remember this being one of the maps where Nifty had that pop-off potential, where he had the ability to really do work in those bathrooms. Even though he's AWPing up close, he lands both of the important shots. Obviously, it helps that MIBR only are fighting him 1 by 1 there. Maybe if MIBR are a slightly better prepped team, they have that player instantly ready to trade. But Nifty can only take the fights that are given to him, and he did really good work to land both of those. And now it's MIBR who are in trouble. Right now, they've only got a couple of pistols brought into this round.
There'll be plenty for them to study after these matches, MIBR. Again, very early, so can understand the problems here and there. But they still need to win their matches. Oh, the timing. KNG makes his way through. That's a massive headshot from him. Spamming for the second one. Legia with the transfer. Can't get far enough. Thomas is still here, though. I think he got a bit of a team flash there, but he's still alive. Clearing them up now as they line up for him by Monster. That could have been a lot scarier, but they will manage to hold on. Envy make it to 13, 3 rounds in a row. And MIBR get another crack at the whip.
Yeah, Mihu was deep peeking Monster here, and he saw that player far away, so he thought that there was no one up close. And I really like that MIBR kind of noticed that fact and just decided to walk through. It was obviously a big risk, but once they heard the reload, they realized they could just go for it. Decent effort from MIBR, about as much as you could have hoped for. They put themselves in a position where they can maybe make it happen, but now it's the gun round. AK's out across the board. KaLiX this time getting aggressive over on A, but MIBR are quickly moving into B short. All their players right now in towards connector or B short. This could be a faster paced play from MIBR.
No one in connector for Envy. They'll have to defend from the site, although KaLiX is in party. I don't see a rotation coming from MIBR though as the bomb makes its way through Monster. 3 players there now, but look at the timing to stop the split. Absolutely perfect from Envy, but they still need to find the kills by the barrels. Now they're lining up for Leo, and down go Legia and Mihu. This is a catastrophe for Envy. A 3rd kill from KNG, and this round's being shut down. It's time to save for Envy.
They were hoping for a masterclass. They got a disaster class, James. That was not what they needed. The lineup on the edge of the smoke. in that position, you've probably got to make up your minds as to if one player is just going to go aggressive on that smoke, you really do risk just getting lined up like that when you both have to push that same angle. I think Envy may have just been better off just playing it safe behind the smokes, in all honesty. They had a few counter nades down. They had the sort of rotate cut off from short. They had that side of the push cut off to begin with. And they had Nifty rotating down quite quickly because Calyx was so aggressive on A. So I think a passive hold may have been better served for Envy. But they tried to fight and it cost them. And now they may lose players at the end. Oh, Thomas. Oh, man. The timing is so terrible for him. Nifty is going to get down the stairs. So he's okay. AWP saved at the very least, but the money is still not there for Envy. This is such a tight game right now.
Let's not forget, this is the pick of Envy, and they are 0-1, having lost Nuke to MIBR. This is crucial timing for MIBR. They kept it simple, which I like as well. The more complicated stuff, the deeper the rounds went, the later on they went, the worse they became for MIBR, and they couldn't really find the right timing. There was confusion and so on. Kept it quite simple. Brute force into a bomb site, abuse the numbers, the advantages of the T side, and they find themselves with success. Now, Envy have an AWP in Nifty. MIBR have taken a timeout at present. But again, we're in a hero AWP round. Nifty needs to be the can opener. His teammates so need to stay alive, hold position, maybe pick up a smoke here and there to give him some room to play around, try and find something for the squad, and stop MIBR from reacting on the other side of the site. But it will be just pistols and a flashbang, which Nifty has. So no grenades whatsoever. So let's see what Nifty has to offer. It looks like he'll be heading towards the B bomb site. Got the initial Molotov towards the short B position. VSM will go towards short B. And we can see Envy have got 3 players deep long. Nifty on the site, getting run boosted to peak monster. I'm not sure if he may have been spotted there by C.R.A.E, but he's still going, trying to slide into those DMs. No one answering though. MIBR looking to block, but he's persistent. Nifty still alive. And there's the bomb 1v1. He's doing it. And again, time for the team to swarm, but they're miles away. Nifty still. Did he just get a decoy? Oh. Nifty looking for one more. VSM through the smoke, but no. Has he done enough?
Oh, VSM finally gets the bomb. He's just going to get round the corner. Smoke and a flash at the ready. They know where he is, so he can definitely afford to use those nades to keep himself safe. The longer he takes, though, that flank is going to come in from Monster. Envy get a couple of guns as well. They've got AKs in their hands. VSM is seeing if he can maybe get up to the A site, and Envy have slowed this down. VSM going up to A could be the play here. Legia only has this USP. If he can clear out these angles, and there are a lot of them to clear out, but if he can get the right one, he could get a free A bomb site and put himself in with a real chance at this round. Oh no, is he? Ooh, okay. This could work.
Oh, Legia. Sneaky position. The fact that Envy don't have anybody with Kevlar is a big bonus. Bomb being planted on A. Legia surely has to wait now. He may have just seen VSM go back towards the stairs. Oh, he must have. He knows there's nowhere else he can be, really. So he has that info. Oh, has he seen him go downstairs? That rotation has to come in fast. Calyx by the toilets waiting for Thomas to make his way over. There's a ding, but he can't find a dong. He's still alive, VSM. 4 HP. There's a smoke up. Oh, he's got a swing from bank. There is a kit as well. He's not going to be expecting the kit. Calyx has no idea. He can't find the bullets though. And it will be round number 14 for Envy. An exceptional performance from Nifty. I'm not sure if he got a kill with a flashbang or what happened on the B bomb site, but he absolutely savaged them with the AWP, that's for sure.
Yeah, that's more like it from Nifty. That's more of what we want to see from him. Especially in a round where he has to do everything for his team. Oh, it was a team flash onto Leo there. Lovely work.
So wait, did... I don't understand.
I think in those situations, though, when you need your AWPer to just win you the round by yourself, Nifty is probably one of the better AWPers for that. Like, he's had quite a few of those highlight plays where he just seems to win a round for his team. And that could be the round that wins them the game, man. That could make all the difference, because Envy's money would have been pretty poor if they lost that round. They had a really small losing bonus. They would have had some weaknesses. Now they get a proper full buy, and they get a real good chance to close out this game.
MIBR still have a bye. What's for sure is that one of these teams is going to be broke after this. Very crucial time. The third map, should it be required, will be Inferno. Potentially just around the corner. But hasn't been as easy as Envy would have liked. Again, an exceptional performance from KiNK. He was on 28 kills for a while, but he's made his way towards 31. C.R.A.E, though, has got 1 kill to make it to 3 in I don't know how many rounds. (14-11). A boost from Thomas. It's a very awkward situation to deal with now for MIBR. A focus towards the B bomb site. We see the rotation coming through. While Nifty's towards the toilets, no one is too deep. And again, MIBR keeping it simple. Legia spotted some info. Doesn't overextend. I love that. Puts the smoke up. Tries to make the situation as strong as possible. Now, MIBR still have smokes and molotovs. There's only 1 flashbang on KiNK. And ideally pushing the site, you probably want your sniper to just hold an angle while the rifler swings. So this is going to be an awkward situation for them. Calyx moving up long. Nifty still on the A-bomb site. Not too far away from a rotation, however. Here comes some smokes and mollies from Envy as they try to defend the B-bomb site. Down goes Leo. Thomas is traded, however. The numbers are here. Legia can't get anything done. Mihu in the smoke goes down for free. And suddenly MIBR are fighting back.
Ooh, Calyx with an all-important kill to give Envy some sort of chance. Bomb yet to be planted, but VSM on the flank gets that. And that should be the round done and dusted. We saw Nifty go huge in the last one. This round would be even more difficult, and he knows it. He's going to have to save. The money continues to be a concern for Envy. Remember, I think they have the smallest losing bonus they can right now. At least it's low on the Envy side. So Nifty really needs to save this AWP to give them any chance. I think for Envy, I'm curious as to whether they have a more passive hold on this B site. Because every time it feels like in these recent rounds, Envy have been really aggressively trying to fight for the site itself. And when the time runs low like that, if you can just sit back, maybe get a kill or two and wait for the rotation, you can definitely play for that retake at times. But Envy haven't been doing that. They've been trying to really fight aggressively in the face of MIBR, and MIBR have been ready for it right now. That's a 12th round win, and even with Nifty saving that AWP, the money is questionable on the MV side. They've got a decision to make.
Big frags from Lucas, and again, round and round we go. Do you invest everything into this? A timeout from Envy. Nifty can drop.
I think you do. Look at the loss bonus. Like, even if you save here, they're not going to have that great money on a couple of the players. I guess if you fully save, then Nifty and Thomas could maybe drop and buy for themselves. That could be an option.
If they buy around what they have, does that give them an extra buy? Are they just giving up a buy round here if they do nothing? Well, they haven't done anything just yet. And here we go. Yeah, I'm leaning towards the buy here.
I don't think Thomas needs to buy a helmet. That's just something that slightly tilts me. It's fine. It's not the end of the world. They do actually have one M4 on the T side, so who knows? It could come into play. But yes, the buy comes through. A big call to make here in round 27. If Envy lose this one, then we are likely going the distance. This is a key round for Envy to try and keep them in this series. A key round for them in this tournament. This is the lower bracket, remember. Both these teams need this, and Nifty's got the opener.
Going back for another one. Confident they won't push the smoke. Very cheeky from Nifty. And you're right about the helmet, because with $50 in the hole, he could have bought a defuse kit instead. The only person who has a kit is Nifty, so that may play a part in this later on. But first, he'll continue with the AWP. He's missed a shot jump up. Sorry, Mr. Player. Can he escape? Oh! No, Lucas, what on earth is that? That's absolutely ridiculous. 3-on-3, and there's a chance for MIBR to take the A-bomb site. Can they upset Envy on Overpass? It would certainly help if they won this round. Thomas completely blind, and C.R.A.E finally with its 4th kill. Talk about impact frags. Oh, Legia coming in with the deagle, and this is all collapsed Lucas again, this time with the Molotov kill. I don't know if he knew anything about either of those 2 kills, Lucas.
I think he was running on the second one. I honestly think he might have just been running and spraying through the smoke as he did it. Let's have a look. Okay, Nifty shot. Good start. Boost was nice. Yeah, look, he's just running, man. He's just running at the smoke.
That is absolutely crazy. The impact of those kills. Look what it's done. It's absolutely decimated Envy.
Oh my.
They've bought nothing in this round. Nothing at all. Nothing in their pockets but knives and lint. Those 2 kills could be the path to the 2-0. And I feel like that'll be indicative to how this game has felt. Oh, that's nuts, man. Smoke onto a site. For like a default plant. Obscure some vision from upstairs. And it will bait a response from Envy. Not too much to go on here. Thomas will do what he can. Running out of bullets, running out of HP, running out of rounds. MIBR, 14 apiece. Looking for the upset on Overpass at the very least. A pick of Envy.
We will be going the distance here on Overpass. Round 30 is a guaranteed round. The question is, who's going to have the chance to close it out? Will it be MV with the chance to take us to a third, or will MIBR have the chance to upset them with a 2-0? We're about to find out. Rifles out for MV, no AWP the Nifty, nades missing, no kit either for MV. They're the ones who have some weaknesses ahead of this all-important round.
The lack of AWP really limits Nifty's impact potentially. Calyx deep again, Nifty on the way as well. Can he trade? He's got to trade at least. There we go. He can't fall back though. The point of no return. Trying to create some space for himself. With the smoke grenade, he'll get another kill out of it. He has overperformed in that situation. 3 versus 2 for Envy. We can see Mihu in a forward position. He's being looked for by Lucas though. And look at the angle from Lucas.
What?
A little delayed response, but it's done the job.
How does Mihu not see him? Oh no. 2v2, and this is where the tension starts to rise. Lucas and KNG still alive for MIBR. Those 2 players have had a lot of impact throughout this game. And it really is a guessing game for Envy here. The question on the Envy side is, do you split up and try and defend the site solo, or do you just group up together and try and play retake? The problem is, without a defuse kit, Envy can't really afford to play retake. So they are playing on both sites right now. That allows MIBR to have the advantage of being able to group up.
"29 seconds. Time becomes the enemy of MIBR. If Thomas stays in bank, he could be a problem. They can make it to the default plant. Legia needs to get that rotation on now. That's done real well to force Thomas from his position. Bomb only now getting planted. He could even swing with a gun on this, surely. HG grenade though. That's done massive chunks. A missed shot from KNG. 2 versus 2 on the site. Thomas starts things off. They're lining up. The trade is there from Thomas again. Oh boy, that's down to the wire.
As close could be. 5 HP for Thomas. And a bit of a shock to the system for MIBR. The Zeus coming in at the end. Thomas will finally defuse, and it's Envy who have the chance to take us to a third map. As you said, James, huge overperformance from Nifty there to get those 2 kills, to put his team in the advantageous position. Lucas brings it back, but then Thomas just does enough to put MIBR in an uncomfortable spot. They can't plant on the bank side. They have to plant on the short side. They get stuck on the site itself. You can see the reaction from MIBR. They are gutted to lose that round, but at least they still have money for this last one to try and make it OT. It's actually Envy who have the weaker buy.
Yeah, MIBR had money in the hole, and the fact that Envy only survived with 1 player provides some opportunity. But also, Nifty didn't have an AWP in that round. He still had colossal impact with the M4A4 by the tree, but now he's back on his AWP game. He can get up to some shenanigans again. It is a timeout from Envy. The UMP with significant damage fall off. The MP9 with the faster fire rate. Thomas with some UK toxicity straight out of Tesco. And indeed, Envy now with an opportunity to take this to Inferno to close it out in round 30. 34 is the number of KNG kills at the moment. Really putting in work. TRK's made it to 5, which is good news. And that 4th or 5th kill was a big impact frag. That's for sure.
He'll be needing a couple more of those impact frags if MIBR won overtime. We go all the way to round 30, and Nifty was looking for a fight with the AWP. He now backs away, but it's KNG who could be the difference maker. Leo loses the fight in Connector. KNG still waiting patiently. He knows that eventually someone from Envy is likely to cross his crosshair. Lucas spamming on the short side as well.
Oh, that's so nervous, those two players on the B-bomb site. KNG blind and dead. Is this a straw that breaks the camel's back? It was so nervous. The MP9, the UMP huddled together, just desperately hoping for something. And boy, have they got it. 5-on-3 now for Envy. And this is where MIBR struggle, when they've got some disadvantages. We move into the late game, and they've got to figure out a way back into the round. 3 players wondering what to do. They've got the AK-47s. They can't take too many trades. Both SMGs. We've got a double barrel play here from Envy. A bait set up with the SMGs and Thomas to swing as well. Playing off angles, not giving any entries onto the site. MIBR just waiting. They're begging for a peek, which is not going to come. Calix makes his way towards B as well. 29 seconds left, a late incendiary. Brutal timing for MIBR. Splits the attack. VSM now, again, looking for that one player by the barrel. But there are 2. Leg is the only man showing. Really running this clock down. Starting to swing now. 13 seconds on the clock, and it is death by paper cuts for MIBR. 16 rounds for Envy, 14 for MIBR. Envy survive on Overpass.
And they will be thanking Nifty for that round with the AWP. He was the hero that got them to that position in the first place. They get the win by the tightest of margins, but that means they are still in this series, and Inferno will be decider. That's coming up after this.
We're going the distance in our final matchup of the day as Envy claim Overpass by the skin of their teeth, 16-14. We're going to Inferno as the decider. And of course, join me along for this absolute roller coaster of a ride, the wonderful Potter and Alan. And we had so many questions coming into this map. It was a map we hadn't really seen both these teams playing. So maybe we should start off with the final few rounds, Alan, because that was really where Envy managed to turn it back.
Oh, that was absolutely crazy, the end of that game. So many late round scenarios. I know the last round in particular was a bit underwhelming, but before that, every single round, 1v2s, 1v1s, all of that. The economy was on a knife edge the whole time for, I don't know, the last maybe 10 rounds of that half. I thought Envy was out of it at some points. I thought MIBR was out of it at some points. Went the whole distance, and I think we had a really good map there in the end.
Yeah, no, definitely. And I think your point in the green room, Alan, was perfect. Will Envy force buy here, or are they going to go with the conservative route and try to tie things up? And man, it was just on the knife's edge, as you mentioned, Alan. And I gotta say, man, Nifty showing up, KiNK showing up, and even KiNK. I turned around, looked at the scoreboard. He had 34 kills. So
Crazy.
This was absolutely neck and neck all the way throughout.
Yeah, I believe he had KiNK had 23 kills to end off that first half, which was absolutely insane. Considering, it was still a pretty close scoreline with that. So I'm wondering, from your perspective, Potter, when did it kind of fall apart for MIBR in this final few rounds? Because they did have some of the better buys coming into it.
They did. And, I gotta say, I think Inferno is gonna solidify my assumptions here. But for me, Envy just looked like the better team. They looked like they had the better protocols. And at any point, as I mentioned, KiNK, he was finding those picks, but Envy, through and through, especially on their CT side, had the answer to get themselves back into the round, whether it was clever utility usage, whether it was Legia holding down the fort towards that B. So I like the look of Envy. Things did get really close, but even going into Inferno, I think it's going to be even closer.
What were your main takeaways from that map, Alan? Because, we had a lot of questions coming into it, considering that we hadn't seen either of these teams playing this map with these iterations of the roster. So where were you kind of seeing Envy with those strengths in this one?
My big takeaway, definitely Nifty on that CT half towards the end. Nifty won this game for them, to be honest. Several rounds, he just held them in it, particularly that round where saving one orb, all the pistols were towards A, and he got a 4K from Monster, just trapped behind smokes and in a corner, fighting his way out of that situation, getting 4 kills, bringing it right back for them. Another round as well, which is very impressive. But Nifty definitely stepping up big time on that CT half. As we were talking about before the game, he needed to be a bit more proactive, a bit more mobile, but Nifty was really sensational in those last, 5, 6, 7 rounds towards the end of that map.
I just want to highlight the scoreboard that we just saw on our screens there. And we can never pin this on just one player, but it is interesting to see C.R.A.E having an absolutely phenomenal first map. Then coming on to this one, he was a little bit quieter. But Alan, I know you were saying it didn't seem like he was making any particular mistakes in that first half. It just seemed like Envy maybe had the better of him there.
Yeah, it didn't feel to me like he was, getting too aggressive and giving up so many picks. I suspect it was more a case of, he's just getting entry too many times or these sort of things. Or maybe when he was on the T side, it just wasn't working out. He was going in first, just getting fragged, and then he was getting traded out. So it didn't feel to me like he was letting them down too much. Obviously, any situation that have that many frags, there's probably some questions to be asked, but I'd more so look at this from a team game from really both sides. And I think MIBR, it just looks a little bit out of sorts on Overpass the end on that T side. They just sort of slowed it down a bit too much. They let Envy have a bit too much space. They gave up a man advantage round to Nifty in particular. So yeah, I wouldn't blame it on C.R.A.E, I'll put it that way.
No, exactly. And Hawker brought up a really good point that the fact that some of these newer players, obviously C.R.A.E was still on the MIBR side, but they didn't really play Overpass in some of their former teams anyway. So there, of course, is going to be a few mistakes expected to be made. But Potter, I know that you've got a particular clip that you sort of called the turning point for Envy in this. What are we going to be looking at? Yeah,
I needed to break this round down because you're right. It was kind of a turning point. And at this point, Envy, once again, we see MIBR finding this opening pick, and it was onto Mihu towards this monster, but this flashbang, this proactive play coming at a Legia to push out that monster, regain that map control, and KiNK dedicated to the cause. He's going to find that contact for Nifty, and in turn, he's able to get a 2K to seal the deal off of that. So it's as Alan mentioned, man, Nifty, he was all over the map. He was mobile, he was proactive, and he was confident. And that's exactly what Envy needed in that AWP role.
Yeah, let's keep on the topic of Nifty here, because I know we have another certain clip, Alan. It was when Nifty managed to get that 4K, and you were saying, he was really keeping them in this game towards the end.
Yeah, this round was absolutely wild. Run boost across Monster, as I think we'll see in a second. So he's already run boosted it, he's surfed down the left side, and then playing this up close position. How on earth he picks the right timing to look at each angle is absolutely insane, all of these frags. And this really could be one of the highlights of the tournament, to be honest. It was that good.
If he got that ace,
Yeah,
for
yeah, it
sure
would've been crazy.
it would have been in. Man, that was so close. And yeah, I wish we actually got to see the run boost and the surfing, because I'm glad Nifty actually got to be able to style in this game, you know? I mean, that's the kind of personality I like to see. And going on to Inferno for him specifically, that's going to be a huge boost for the entire team.
Yeah, let's talk about Inferno as well. I believe we can bring up our updated pinnacle odds going into that third and final deciding map. And I know, Alan, you had a few points on the MIBR side of things, maybe a few question marks coming into it, because what we've seen of them on Inferno, it's not been great.
Oh, certainly. So for those that didn't see their series against Astralis, they played Inferno, and the two B-side players for MIBR on Inferno are VSM and Leo. So these are the two most inexperienced players. So from that angle, it did surprise me quite a lot to see those two players sighting together on that bomb site. And during that game, Astralis were destroying them on B. They had nothing. They just looked really out of sorts, kind of, you know, inexperienced at playing a top-level team like Astralis, who are just absolutely phenomenal on T side of Inferno. And I really hope they spend that time wisely since that game, shoring it up, adding some more takes, perhaps, you know, having a bit more synergy between those two players. During that Astralis game, you know, there were times where one player was left on the bomb site on his own and his teammate wasn't around to help him. It was all a bit strange, and hopefully now they've got a bit more chemistry. I really hope in this game we can see a better duo on that B bomb site.
Yeah, and as we could just see from the pinnacle odds below us on the screens, I believe it was 1.98 to MV, 1.85 to MIBR. So Potter, it is incredibly close. So from your perspective, you know, as the fellow Envy person over there, who are you going to be watching from that side?
It's got to be Nifty once again. And just because, especially for Inferno, being that arch player, it's so important for him to once again be mobile, but be able to kind of decipher what these communications are coming his way, because as he's rotating towards that B, there's going to be a lot of utility, a lot of just traffic, of course, as we know, towards that banana area. So Nifty's got to have his communication right on point so that he knows exactly where to be and when to be there, so that he can actually pick off these MIBR guys, because as we know, being a new squad and Envy having those utility protocols that we just kind of saw on Overpass, if MIBR aren't sharp with it, they're going to get punished.
Yeah, they are indeed. I think an interesting point to bring up on what we've seen from MIBR on Inferno already is the caliber of competition they face. Of course, it was at Blast. They did lose to Astralis, none other. They also lost to Furia as well, their fellow Brazilian rival. So potentially, I don't know, is there anything you're looking at coming into this with, you know, potentially lower caliber competition in the form of Envy, as they are a new squad as well?
I mean, if we look from Envy's perspective, we've never seen them on Inferno. So from their perspective, I have no idea what to expect going into this game. We don't really know the CT positions. I hope, again, on T side, as we talked about going into Overpass, we do see some more decisive play. I want to see some fast takes of Banana. I want to see some contact plays. I want to see them getting aggressive towards the arch side, get loads of map control. Because I think if they play it slow, they let MIBR have Banana control, let them always have brackets and all of these sort of things. If they don't have too much of the map, I could see this going the way of MIBR. But being realistic, I've no idea which team to pick in this one. And to be honest, knowing how it went versus Astralis, I might actually lean towards Envy on this one, even though my points are on MIBR.
Oh no, flip-flopping, Alan. Flip-flopping
all over
up
the place
here on the desk. But you know what? And I think this is what is so great about Inferno being that decider, Christine. We always talk about it almost being the perfect decider.
Yeah.
And I think in this instance, it really is, because there are just so many question marks at both sides.
Exactly, and Inferno's just not a map that you can get away with a lot, right? You're gonna get punished if you don't have the protocols. If you haven't hashed out the minor details of exactly how you want to approach this banana, you're gonna get naded. The chip damage is so real towards that B. So the spacing, it's got to be great. The utility, it's got to be great. And these guys have to be willing to help each other out and rotate perfectly.
Yeah, and I think something that we kind of touched upon when we were actually departing the stage from the last segment, we were talking about MIBR and this emotion that they're always talking about. You know, Kogo, in every single interview, he mentions this emotion, the fact that they're friends, the fact that they hype each other up. But potentially, I don't know how they're going to be reacting after a loss like that, so incredibly close, coming onto a map that maybe they're not perhaps so confident on. So I'm interested to hear your thoughts on the sort of emotional side of the team.
Yeah, with all of the hype players and the hype teams, there's always two sides to the coin. Everyone normally only looks at, you know, the upside. You know, they're going crazy, they're getting all the frags, they're all getting really pumped up, you know, they're getting more aggressive with it. But there is another side when you lose a close game like that one, and they'll be really tilted by some of those nifty rounds, because those are absolutely crazy. So for them, I hope they're still in it mentally. I think they will reset fairly well. I mean, they have Kobe behind them. He's a very experienced figure. He can, you know, say, calm down, let's reset, refocus. It's a totally different map. Overpass wasn't for us, but, you know, Inferno, maybe that's nearer the middle of our map pool, so hopefully it can be good for us. But yeah, I don't think it will be a massive problem, but I wouldn't be totally surprised if, you know, they have a bit of a slow start in this Inferno game.
Well, of course, we'll be seeing them on the all-important player cams as well. But two